I just heard about the H3 versus iDubbbz defamation lawsuit and spent the last 3 or so hours learning about it and getting into the nitty gritty, figuring out all the bits and pieces and getting all the morsels of information I could find to really put the nipple clamps on it and figure out what.
Oh boy, Jesus Christ. Oh boy, Hasanabi save us? No, I mean, Moist Critical. Law, who the fuck is this? This is the god of normies. Lol, Charlie, there's so much ass covering in this video because of you and others. Is it? Is that the case? I don't know. I haven't seen it, but Moist Critical has officially taken to the h3h3 versus iDubbbz lawsuit. Now, you guys already know some of the details. Ethan Klein, h3h3, former fair use precedent setting. Ethan Klein, former podcast co-host of mine, who's been on a tear, basically trying to wrap up all of the people that he feels he's been wronged by with frivolous lawsuits as a vexatious litigant, has done it again. He's done a whole video, or he has launched another lawsuit, this time against iDubbbz, former friend of Ethan Klein as well, because iDubbbz posted a statement that was allegedly defamatory of Ethan Klein, a statement not from iDubbbz, mind you, a statement from Destiny, Sex Pestiny, who once alleged that Ethan had molested his own children and that Child Protective Services should be called to his home. Now, I don't know what attitude he takes in this situation, in this circumstance. I expect, given the prestige that Ethan Klein in the past had, a lot of strong relationships with a lot of OG YouTube legends. He was perceived as a YouTube legend for the longest time as well. So I suspect that this won't be super critical. I assume that there's a reason why a lot of top YouTube content creators have not touched this. Even though Ethan was already doing this with the DMCA suits that he launched towards Frogan, towards Denims, which she's about to lose as a matter of fact, and also towards Casey Tron as well. And it was actually really interesting that a lot of YouTubers that normally would have been collectively very critical of Ethan launching these frivolous lawsuits and turning litigation into content and potentially even overwriting the previous precedent that he himself fought for, they were nowhere to be found. And I think part of that is because the people that Ethan had chosen to attack were unpopular. That's just the reality of the matter. They're unpopular on the internet. I, myself, am one of those figures. In the drama sphere, in the drama ecosystem, there are established enemies that unite all of the reactionary bases and also even the centrist accounts. And we are those people, okay? So I don't know if Charlie took I don't know what kind of stance Charlie took in this, in this piece that he did, but I do find it odd that they didn't cover the Denims lawsuit. I do find it odd that they didn't cover the other instances of litigation. But let's see what he had to say. Sure, we'll watch the Anthony Fantano one too. This loser has lost his lawsuit. Oh, that's just about the Denims one. What the fuck? What is happening?
I just heard about the H3 versus iDubbbz defamation lawsuit and spent the last 3 or so hours.
Charlie hates you, Loki. He doesn't. I've talked to him behind the scenes, post Kayagate, and I don't think he hates me. Charlie reached out to Harley and not iDubbbz at all. I don't think that's the case.
Hours learning about it and getting into the nitty gritty, figuring out all the bits and pieces and getting all the morsels of information I could find to really put the nipple clamps on it and figure out what all the hoopla is. And it is a real thing. The pugilistic legal paperwork has been filed against iDubbbz, so now they're gonna duke it out, not with knuckle sandwiches, but with extremely expensive litigation. Offer it before I even get into the spaghetti and meatballs of the actual story here. There is just something that pets my peeves. There is something that grinds my gears, greases my cheeks so much I can't resist yapping about it briefly. When I was in the trenches digging around for information about
Why are we defending a man who does not defend you? I'm not in the business of you know, transactional analysis. That would make me no better than others who I oppose. If he gives a fair shake, I haven't seen this yet. I don't know if he gives Ethan a fair shake here. I think it's virtually impossible for Moist Critical to take a position that isn't in opposition of this frivolous lawsuit, though, regardless of how much people fucking despise iDubbbz on the internet, regardless of how much people despise myself and Morgan and all these other people on the internet. Yeah. So
I kept seeing people say that I refuse to cover these kind of things for a variety of different reasons. I'm ignoring it, this and that. I don't know how many more times I need to say this. I am just really not online that much these days. The only streams I watch are like the Summer Games Fest and like events like that, but I don't watch streams. I don't watch a lot of YouTube, and I don't go on Twitter, like, at all. I still have Twitter because I send and reply to DMs through there sometimes for like events, like Tyler One's League of Legends tournament. I heard from him on Twitter DM, so I have it for reasons like that. But I don't like do.
You should be eating food for this, no? Okay, guys, dial back to parasocialism.
Boom scroll Twitter and see a bunch of things anymore. Look at the last tweet I made. So like I don't see a lot of these things that are going on anymore. But for some reason, everyone jumps to, oh, he must be ignoring it. He's got to be ignoring it. We can really tell a lot about this guy from the things he refuses to cover. I just don't see them. The things I do hear about come from my friends sending them to me, or when I stream chat telling me about them, putting them on my radar. But if neither of those two avenues show it to me or tell me about it, I just never hear about it. And I'm not even a fucking streamer anymore, not full time. I'm like a semi-retired streamer. I stream sometimes, and sometimes I'll stream like 3-4 days in a row. But basically what I do now is I just play like old school games, like a lot of retro games or a lot of Steam cum dumpster games, like actual trash. So like I'm not even really a streamer, so I don't even see a lot of that either. So like it's not me avoiding certain things for a nefarious reason. I just literally don't ever hear about it, so I never learn about it. Now, there is some stories that I do hear about and get really invested in, like Bricks and Minifigs versus Reckless Ben. I've been very glued to that one, had my finger on the pulse of. But that was something I was put on my radar by friends and stream chat. So genuinely, I am just not online that much, so I don't see a lot of it. So with that out of the way, I did spend like the last 3 hours learning about this defamation lawsuit between H3 and iDubbbz, because that did sound pretty concerning. Because there's always been like an unwritten rule on the internet, not just YouTube, where if there's beef online, it stays online. And you handle it online without, you know, going over that threshold, the event horizon of trying to use litigation to silence your opponent or something like that. That had always been etched in the stone tablets, the fucking 10 commandments of online discourse.
It's true.
And now all of a sudden, I'm hearing about H3 suing iDubbbz for defamation. So obviously I wanted to hear more about that. And after diving in, hitting that cannonball into the pool, I learned he has a lot of active lawsuits. I think it's 5, maybe 6 against other streamers and YouTubers. So it's a bit of a rampage he's been on. I knew about one before all this, which was against the snark community. That I did hear about. And that one...
Snark community.
Made a lot of sense to me, actually. The snark community, from what I recall, was doing some diabolical, like...
Yeah, this is like... Look, listen. Are there annoying fucking people on the internet that are up people's asses all the goddamn time? Absolutely. Okay? Ethan Klein operates a fucking snark community against myself. I don't think any of Ethan Klein's lawsuits are even in any way, shape, or form remotely defensible. He has obviously postured it and positioned it in a way where it comes across as defensible to other content creators by claiming a litany of different insane things that he claims were happening because people were gang stalking him and I don't know, like going after his family and like sending CPS and sending skulls to his house or whatever. Okay. I don't know the veracity of these claims, but I do know one thing. He has used that as a fucking counter to every single goddamn thing. He stubs his motherfucking toe. He goes, oh, it's the snark community, which by the way, he says I'm a part of. All of the people that he has actively sued, he has claimed were responsible without any evidence whatsoever for fucking sending child protective services to his house, to sending skulls to his house. Like, it's an incredible fucking method. Meanwhile, I'm literally being fucking prosecuted by the goddamn federal government, allegedly, and these guys are celebrating that decision, and at no point did I ever turn around and say, oh, Ethan Klein is the reason why I have a fucking subpoena from the government. Okay? It's ridiculous. Just because they even celebrate that decision by the federal government, which they have openly, which is also disgusting, doesn't mean that they had anything to fucking do with it. But it's ridiculous to be like, yeah, I'm suing anonymous Redditors on the internet because I believe that they're coordinating like a mass harassment campaign against me. And therefore, like, in order for a lot of these people to understand, yeah, he is a snarker of mine. He is, which is, whatever. It is what it is. But in order for a lot of these people who have been in support of these decisions, in support of Ethan's vexatious litigant status, in order for them to come to terms with how frivolous these lawsuits are, I should probably start doing the exact same thing so they can fucking be on board with the opposition. All of a sudden, they'll probably understand. Can you imagine if I were going after random anonymous accounts over and over again, trying to create this fucking conspiracy, claiming that they were the reasons why, they were responsible for why, I was getting pursued by the fucking federal government. Oh, I got banned by the United Kingdom because of Ethan Klein and anonymous Redditors. Can you imagine if I tried to fucking launch lawsuits against anonymous Redditors and try to dox them, going after Reddit mods? And then on top of that, going after all of these people that have done like a million articles, a million YouTube videos on me? In many instances, genuinely actually slandering me too, defaming me actively, claiming I offer material support to terrorist groups. Material support for terrorism is a literal crime. You are definitionally slandering me and claiming that I'm engaging in a literal fucking crime. If I were to go after every single fucking YouTuber, half of the YouTube commentary sphere would receive lawsuits. Okay? And then they would be reminded of how fucked up and ridiculous this is, because then they would make videos about how silly it is to go after people, to go after fucking people that are critical of you, that are holding you accountable. I mean, I fucking jokingly referenced suing more Pegasus, and every single one of these people that had made YouTube videos about, every single one of these people that had defended Ethan Klein's ridiculous fucking lawsuits, claiming that it was actually the utmost, claiming that these lawsuits were like unironically maintaining the integrity of the commentary sphere, not realizing that if those lawsuits were actually pursued, that there would be a new precedent that would destroy fair use. Guess what? Even when I jokingly fucking referenced it, every single one of those people that were in defense of Ethan's lawsuits turned around and started fucking railing on me, saying, oh my God, Hassan can't take criticism at all. Maybe it's not a joke. Yeah, it's not a joke. I maintain the position that maybe more Pegasus is not, maybe he might be receiving a lawsuit or legal action sometime soon. But like, my point is this. Ethan actually did sue people, okay? As Charlie here is openly recognizing. He did. He actually sued, and he even destroyed the livelihoods of Casey Tron, and even got a default on the Morgan case as well. All of those cases were fucking frivolous. But the people that he was litigating, the people that he was suing, did not have the financial backing to pursue a long and costly litigation process. So they had to fucking default, or they had to actually concede to the unbelievable demands that he was making. Demands such as an ISIS hostage style video that he forced Casey Tron to fucking read. That those very same people turned around and fucking claimed, the very same people in the commentary sphere claimed was valid, claimed was awesome. Yeah, he's accused multiple people of CPS. He said different streamers, Redditors, and chatters have all sent CPS to his house without any proof, apparently. You literally ask him if he has any proof. The snark community sent CPS, and he said, no, I have never said that. Yeah. Remember that shit? Remember when I talked to him in person in that fucking disastrous, I guess you could call it a debate if you want to call it that, where I was like, what proof, what evidence do you have that like myself and all these other people have actually sent child protective services to your house? Like, where is this coming from? Because he was claiming everyone and their mothers was responsible for calling Child Protective Services. I didn't even know that shit was happening, and they were saying I was responsible for it. He genuinely, sincerely, in the most like schizophrenic way, thinks that there is a network, a coalition of people that are in constant collaboration with one another that's like actively trying to ruin his life, not realizing that there is a coalition of people that are actively ruining his life. It's just that those people are in support of Ethan Klein, or at least seemingly in support of Ethan Klein, using him and his financial status to pursue people that they don't like on the internet, to constantly goad him into litigation after litigation, telling him that he's doing the right thing over and over again, telling him that he actually should pursue these fucking people and bury them in financial troubles through costly litigation. Those are the people who are actively going into his community, acting as though they're lifelong fans and using him like a fucking lol-cal weapon. But of course, it's impossible to get him to understand this because he's far too paranoid at this point.
Harassing, stalking stuff, sending CPS. I remember that, and like human skulls. Those things I recalled from like the snark community. So it made sense that he would pursue litigation there, because that is highly illegal fucking psychopath behavior. So that one I remember, and that one made sense.
Like, I don't even disagree with the premise if there was any veracity to these claims, okay? If there was any proof of like coordinated messaging where people were just like, yes, let's go, let's send fucking Child Protective Services to his house, then yeah, it's valid. The problem is none of his lawsuits have anything to do with that. None of his lawsuits have anything to do with that at all. He really thinks he's gonna fucking crack this case. He thinks there's like all these people on the internet are all out to get him, and they're trying to fucking actively ruin his life, not realizing that the only person ruining Ethan Klein's life is Ethan Klein. Okay? His paranoia is the reason why people don't fuck with him anymore. And the frivolous lawsuits that he's launched against his opposition is part of the reason why people don't fuck with him anymore. His opinions on Israel is part of the reason why people don't fuck with him anymore. He was accusing everyone of CPS. Only when Denham said he's suing him, he retracted.
I want to address something from Denham's correction demand in her letter. The letter claims I falsely stated that Denham's herself filed the preceding CPS report, or that Denham's caused others to do so. The letter also states on March 11th, I acknowledged Denham's had denounced herself or anyone in her community making contact with CPS. Let me be clear. I have never claimed that Denham's called CPS. I have never implied that Denham's called CPS. If my statements were interpreted as stating this, I want to correct the record and make it clear that I do not state, I do not believe that Denham's called CPS. Obviously, moronic, idiotic, stupid. Let me also address the point in the letter that I claimed Denham caused others to call CPS. I did not state, and I do not believe Denham's made a direct call to action to her audience to contact CPS, obviously.
Yeah, this is lawyer speak because he got hit.
Right?
He got hit with a CND, I assume, under threat of a lawsuit while appearing to read a letter from his lawyer. Ethan Klein attempts to formally retract 3 defamatory claims against Denham's. Ethan admits Denham's didn't call CPS, didn't denounce those that called CPS, never made a call to action for another to call CPS. Okay? Except he literally did do that, for the record. Okay? He did. And when he says like, oh, I'm doing this as I'm waging this just war against snark, that's what he's referencing. And a lot of people have deluded themselves into believing that that is the truth. That like all of these people that Ethan Klein is actually going after at some point harbored people or directly called CPS themselves. They even say that about myself as well, when it's like I'm the least involved in fucking drama with Ethan Klein for the most part too. Lol, not you. No, he has. Oh, I thought you're calling Ethan a punk ass bitch. Okay, it is ridiculous.
Sense to me, but when
he has a lot of money from being one of the OG major YouTubers and also having at the time very successful clothing brand at the peak of YouTube, at the peak of like when YouTubers were basically fucking printing money. And he is literally just using that war chest to dunk on like 100 concurrent Twitch streamers, man. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like totally ridiculous. Of a powerful court turning around and using the money cannon against those who he does not like. It's a classic story. YouTube has many evil villains like this. But because the overwhelming majority of the fucking commentary sphere The overwhelming majority of the commentary sphere don't like the YouTubers that Ethan is pursuing. They have literally openly supported his actions. Unbelievable.
Talking about these other ones, granted, I haven't dove too deep into all those because this is clearly a lot. I was mainly focused on the defamation one, but man, Ethan Klein has become like the Nintendo of YouTubers. He is extraordinarily litigious. Anyway, enough blabbering. What started this defamation lawsuit was this iDubbbz stream.
Okay, this is my watermark for the stream. I don't want any of my content being stolen. Got another Kalshi ad? I'm sorry, Fazium. We're all getting Kalshi ads these days. It's okay. So I do want to say I don't agree with what's being said in this comment here. But I'm putting it on screen because I think it should be addressed because it's a big, bold accusation that's very fucked up.
It is very fucked up. And
Yeah. It's like very clear what iDubbbz is doing. It's twofold. One, at that point, Ethan was just like constantly clipping his fucking streams to like, dunk on him. So he thought that this would be a defensive shield against Ethan most likely clipping his streams. And two, it is a fucking defamatory statement. It's a ridiculously defamatory statement. And yet Ethan was not even remotely invested in addressing that defamatory statement at all, and instead did the unthinkable and went after iDubbbz for literally disavowing the defamatory statement. He literally said she did CPS with timestamp.
Attention.
Bro, you were so smug. She did CPS. Remember that? Okay, good.
Right now, one's a little bit more.
Yeah, that was his fucking rallying cry for the longest time. She did CPS. He did CPS. They all did CPS. Everybody and their mothers. Everybody that has ever criticized Ethan Klein has been responsible for calling Child Protective Services on his children. It's fucking ridiculous.
it's despicable that he would think it's a good idea to post that there while knowingly aware that it's not true. So the message isn't Ian's. This comes from Destiny, and he found this screenshot and he kept it on screen for a very long time. And he said he didn't agree with it, but thinks it needs to be addressed because it's so fucked up. It is a terrible stream. Just giving it to you real blunt, real raw. It is no good. And I'm no stranger to getting shit talked by iDubbbz. He has said some very nasty, very untrue things about me on his broadcast as well. But what is being reported in regards to this stream isn't exactly telling the whole story.
Wait, what? Wait, what the fuck? I don't even know what iDubbbz has said about Charlie, but that's crazy, bro.
Now, when I first
Wait,
and
what?
real blunt, real stuff, and he's this true. So the message isn't Ian's. This comes from Destiny, and he found this.
Yeah, why is Ethan not suing Destiny? That's a real question. I think we all know why. Partially because Ethan is aligned with Destiny. Ethan has been utilizing the Destiny community to launch attacks against his fucking enemies on the internet. They're aligned together on the issue of Israel. That's another huge deal. Okay, that's another big part of the fucking puzzle here. That's it. Sometimes it's a lot simpler than you think. This story is very simple. That was a brief moment where they were fighting one another. Okay, I think it was because Ethan had implied that Destiny was a pedophile because he's going through that court case right now where it came out that he was trying to procure child sexual abuse material from an underage, from a minor, in exchange for revenge porn that he was sending out to people without the consent of the other parties involved. He's still actively in that court case because he's getting sued by the victims who he distributed the sex videos of, right? And Ethan was obviously fucking shitting on him over it. And in exchange for that, Destiny did what Destiny always does. He turned on one of his collaborators, Ethan, in this circumstance, even though literally his co-host of his podcast, Dan Saltman, again, another person who is unbelievably pro-Israel, or at least utilizing the pro-Israel advocacy as a way to take care of his enemies, is a funder, is one of the last remaining sponsors of Ethan Klein's podcast.
Screenshot, and he kept it on screen for a very long time. And he said he didn't agree with it, but thinks it needs to be addressed because it's so fucked up. It is a terrible stream. Just giving it to you real blunt, real raw. It is no good. And I'm no stranger to getting shit talked by iDubbbz. He has said some very nasty, very untrue things about me on his broadcast as well. But what is being reported in regards to this stream isn't exactly telling the whole story. Now, when I first heard of this lawsuit, I was reading a bunch about it, but I wanted more information, like, directly associated with it to make sure I wasn't getting, like, fraudulent or misleading shit fed to me. So I reached out to someone whom I know is on the H3 team, and Ethan did hear about that, so he did talk directly about me on his show and challenge me on a few things, and I did eventually get to talk directly with Ethan, and I shared my
I wish he would have done this to me when he was doing the Kayage story, but hey, you know, that's besides the point at this point. You know, bygones. I let bygones be bygones.
full perspective on things and the problems I had around it and my concerns, and got his perspective on things to see if there's any misunderstandings and such. Ultimately, I don't think we fully saw eye to eye on this, which, you know, that's going to happen. I fully understand that this is a very emotionally charged subject for him after everything him and his family have went through with snarkers in particular. I know.
What the fuck does iDubbbz have to do with this shit? Bro, this is literally the most Israel-coded story of all time, dude. It's literally but the snarkers. Snarkers have become the but Hamas of Ethan's universe. Okay? Oh, sorry. We're just gonna fucking do, we're gonna do a 8-front war. Or in this circumstance, a 5-front legal war with anyone and everyone around us because snarkers call CPS on us. Like, what do you mean? What the fuck does that have to do with anybody else?
That the CPS and the human skulls incident are like a legitimately traumatizing thing, like the fraudulent CPS call. Like, I get how inexcusable and abhorrent that is. I really do.
Yeah, imagine if you got the Hassan treatment, commentary, community, Reddit, mainstream media, politicians. We are babying this 40-year-old multi-millionaire with potentially upwards of $100 million in his fucking bank account that he's using to legally go after much smaller channels with no fucking financial backing whatsoever because CPS. Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. It's crazy, man. What is this this babying that this guy... How many lawsuits is he allowed to have under his belt until people go, okay, maybe this is a bridge too far? Like, how many random people that he is annoyed with on the internet that he is just like trying to bury under a mountain of paperwork with costly litigation until people go, you know, maybe that's not appropriate. Only Diaz said to call CPS, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, the only person, ironically enough, out of all these people that Ethan Klein is suing that has actually openly defended calling CPS on Ethan Klein's children is Sex Pestiny.
I hope CPS takes his kids. I'll say it. I do. And I hope they cry about it. And then CPS come for my kid. And then CPS can take Dan's kids. You know what? All of our children at the end of the day will just be fostered by Child Protective Services. Okay? And that'll just be... And then we can all relieve ourselves. He's just going to be a rehash of every other fucking video made. God, it's so crazy how this fucking retard, as he's spamming on Instagram and coughing and dying of whatever diseases he has, is telling me like, oh, Destiny, I used to like you so much and you need help and blah, blah, blah. It's like the exact shit that Hassan was doing to him. Good me.
Destiny video couldn't be complete without random Hassan mention, of course.
But I just truly don't believe that this lawsuit is in any way, shape, or form helpful to anyone. Outside of the lawyers, they're fucking smiling ear to ear. They're salivating right now, literally drooling with a bib on. But it's harmful to, I think, literally everyone involved and does have potential ramifications for others way outside of it. I have never and will never be a fan of extreme litigation, and I have always been vocally advocating against creators going that nuclear path, and I always will. Of course, there are cases where it is understandable. Like I said, going after the snarkers that sent a fraudulent CPS thing through and the skulls and stuff, that one I do understand.
Bro, but what does that have to do with iDubbbz? I mean, where is the veracity or where is the fucking genuine proof that there is, again, a network of like anonymous accounts that Ethan Klein has targeted and identified as being responsible for calling Child Protective Services on him. I don't even think there is any proof whatsoever. Ethan certainly doesn't have that. I don't know why he keeps bringing this up as though it has anything to do with iDubbbz anyway.
But this one, I could never support that. And I just can't see the real just cause behind it. And I think it is a terrible example for other creators in the space to follow, where maybe they believe that even though this is about like a Canadian defamation lawsuit, well, maybe they can try their luck in the States. You know, it's not like defamatory lawsuits are exclusive to Canada. There's better protections here, no doubt, but still, if they take from this that maybe the way to fight battles online is to go the litigious route, well, then it's just a huge mess across the board. I think it is just a...
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, if you want the entire commentary sphere to finally fucking pay attention to this shit, I know the solution. I have to sue one of my, you know, thousands of fucking insane haters on the internet. That's it. Here's E denying that you... to you that he never said anything.
That harassment, and you pulled it up on your stream.
Do you have evidence that h3h3's called CPS on you?
Did I say
like
that?
Random anonymous Redditors?
Did I say that?
Wait, what's the...
I said
who
they're
called
primarily
CPS?
responsible for harassing me.
Who called CPS?
What the fuck? So, I don't know. Did I claim they did? You're dodging, bro. You are absolutely dodging. You
Ethan.
claim your community has nothing to do with the harassment, yet you are browsing H3 Snark. Now, let me ask you this, Hassan. How many times...
Yeah. So what's all this lawsuit about? What's all this fucking lawsuit about? I mean, here he is fucking admitting that he has no evidence whatsoever. Should have ended there, right? Seems to me like you got an unfathomably rich guy who's just mad that people have turned on him on the internet. And instead of trying to fucking figure out why that took place and maybe changing his goddamn behavior, he's decided to fucking bury all of the people that have dared to criticize him under costly litigation while simultaneously claiming falsely that they were responsible for Child Protective Services being called to his fucking house. He literally said this about Snark and CPS yesterday. Yeah, I'm not going to read that shit, man. I'm sorry.
A very bad precedent. Even if, you know, the lawsuit doesn't end in a victory for him, this way of engaging with discourse, I think, has always been frowned upon, but for some reason is starting to get some more support behind it, and I just fully disagree with it. I think that this is genuinely just a, like, big threat across the board to just the entire space. Like, if discourse becomes, you know, fearful of, like, litigation flying back and forth, it's going to stifle a lot of voices and stifle some very, like, legitimate criticism down the line. It's just not something I want to see become commonplace. Now, I did also have a brief conversation with iDubbbz about this as well, letting him know that this really is a horrible thing that he did to try and make his point. And he agreed. He said that it was a legitimately awful thing that he did to make that point, and that...
Dog, but the offending party is not even being mentioned here. No one is saying there isn't an offense being made. But it's not iDubbbz that is the offending party. It's Destiny.
It was a genuine, sincere apology that he was issuing and how regretful he was from it. So I did have a conversation with both sides of this to make sure I had like a full, clear picture of where everything was and what this was all about.
I don't know how it works in Canada, if the complaint is public or what. But if you look at it, he emphasizes throughout that he does think it's a serious accusation that needs to be investigated and that he doesn't think it's a joke, right? Now, I know...
Yeah, he has no basis for this, by the way. Like, I don't know how ridiculous Canadian defamation laws are, but, like, there is literally no standing. Like, this shit would be laughed out of fucking court in the United States of America. That's why he didn't file this in California. He'd get hit with a slap so fucking fast his face would spin.
People are like, well, why don't you sue Destiny for saying it? Well, Destiny made it immediately. First of all, this is a comment from Destiny, like, made in passing. Ian put it on his screen for 2 hours during his main broadcast. Destiny made it clear that he was not being serious, right?
Did he? Did he? Oh, okay, then.
Pretty much immediately after writing it. Like, nobody was like, yo,
I don't think he
Destiny
did.
made this claim that Ethan molested his children. Oh, shit. No, people knew that when Destiny said it was like, he was just being a dickhead. Or, I mean, he was being a giant fucking piece of shit, right? But he immediately afterwards made it clear that he didn't actually think that. But Ian took that, and just because you're showing what someone else said doesn't make it not defamation, because you're showing essentially this accusation bare of context and also kind of saying that you think it's true, right?
Now, after hearing Ethan explain that, I actually made...
Wait, first of all, no, the context of it was that he's pissed off that you were calling him a pedophile. Was Destiny joking here too? Because it wasn't a one-off. Yeah, Destiny's version of kidding, great excuse to be petty pussy to sue somebody else. Yeah, here he is again. Okay, never mind. I take back what I said about Ethan. Maybe he is a pedo. What is this?
He has to tie back to me. And Hassan has had a lot of success in trying to tie people back to me. Like I said, I think this is why I call Ethan a pedophile all the time, who fucks his kids or whatever, is because Ethan gave in, because he's a spineless fucking hack, to this type of attack where he's like, no, I'm not like Destiny. Destiny doesn't get me talking about...
Incredible stuff, man. Ethan is lying. Destiny instead admitted actual malice, which is required to sue for defamation of public figures. Yeah. Incredible stuff. Again, it just doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid. It's so unbelievably stupid that even the average person, when they find out the details, go, wait, what the fuck? I'm sorry, now I'm even more confused. So Destiny saying that Klein molests his kids in passing comment is fine because Destiny said he's kidding, but iDubbbz showing it on screen is bad, despite him explicitly saying that he doesn't agree with it? Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't, because it has nothing to do with making sense, and everything to do with the fact that Ethan wants to punish people who have criticized him in the past. That's it, because he's a thin-skinned, narcissistic, multimillionaire who's paranoid as fuck. And it's so funny because of a different reason. Here, you want to know something even crazier? I'll tell you something even crazier. He has to make excuses for Destiny because Destiny's podcast co-host and best friend is a 60-year-old weirdo by the name of Dan Stalkman, who owns the company Redact.dev. Redact.dev is one of the last remaining sponsors of Ethan Klein's company. Dan and Destiny have fucking wrapped Ethan around their goddamn fingers and use him like a fucking fleshlight. So he can't even turn around and shit on them because that's a lifeline for his business. So remember that shit. I mean, come on. This is pretty basic stuff, by the way. Like, I'm sure Charlie didn't know any of this and no one's gonna fucking tell him this shit, but it is like, it's basically just it's basically just requires you to scratch the surface. The idea that there is no like financial entanglements between Destiny and Ethan Klein is crazy. There's a direct conflict of interest, which is part of the reason why he can't fucking turn around and sue Destiny. He's too pussy to do that. Sure, he doesn't like Destiny any longer, or maybe Destiny's made inroads with him again by attacking his enemies again, like a fucking pit bull, which was the reason why they were initially aligned with one another. But yeah, it's crazy that there's no principled statement here. And it's all just like coalitions. Fuck. Yeah, there's no principled stance that people are taking here. I mean, I guess Moise is kind of taking a principled stance here, even though he's like hitting the peak of the center of the argument when it's a fucking lopsided, totally one-sided argument, in my opinion. And he will obviously at the end side with iDubbbz because it's totally ridiculous, as he's reiterating over and over again.
The noble sacrifice of going back and watching the entire iDubbbz stream segment with this in it when he was talking about it. Boy, howdy. I'm not a hero. It was brave, but I don't need your flowers. That was agonizing. It was heinous, even. It was brutal. This whole segment where he was talking about that, I think, was really, really rough. But I don't recall at any point throughout it him actually trying to argue that it's a legitimate thing or trying to convince his audience that it's real. So I know one of the big things is that it came from iDubbbz, who has actually met Ethan and his family. So there's like this air of credibility around him saying something like this, but that's just not true. He's not even trying to say anything about it is credible, even outright says that it's not, that he doesn't agree with it. So he's not trying to present it as a real argument based on, any of his experiences knowing Ethan and his family.
Also, I will say that I think Ethan Klein is terrified of this guy. So it's just kind of like legit. It is to me, it's super funny that he has so much smoke for everyone that he thinks he can bully, but the person that he's fucking terrified, he just keeps very overtly running from. And it's like, yeah.
Now, by the way, Ethan is literally suing iDubbbz for that reason because iDubbbz said the truth there. That's literally it. The two anti-Hassan communities united. Quick reminder that Ian did comply with the cease and desist, and the only reason Ethan isn't going after Destiny, who actually wrote the comment, is because he doesn't want to lose the only community that's still supporting his anti-Hassan slop content. 100%.
Now, while Ethan is 100% correct that iDubbbz says that this is a big allegation that Ethan should be addressing, he's not doing it earnestly, or at least I don't think he was. It's actually really kind of hard to tell. The whole segment was fucking awful, and the point he was trying to make was really dog shittily done. But what he's trying to say is that clip right there at the end where
It's so funny because Destiny has literally operated, we know, Destiny has literally operated alongside Dan Stalkman, Ethan Klein's biggest sponsor, a mass harassment Discord server where they doxed my whole family. We know this. I've shown this on stream before. So like everything that Moist Critical is claiming Ethan is actually pursuing litigation over, I have direct evidence that these fucking dickheads were doing. We also know, and it's been written about in fucking Bloomberg, that Dan Stalkman tried to destroy all ads on Twitch in an effort to try and get me banned. Okay? So the level of coordinated, sophisticated smear campaigns reached a level of actual financial penalties, right? Where they lied, where they straight up fucking lied to thousands of advertisers about how their ads were running next to my fucking stream, and they lied about what I was saying on those streams. Like, it's incredible how they lied to them about how the platform had banned, Twitch, the platform, had actually banned all Israelis from the platform. That was a direct lie, by the way. That was straight up a lie. And when Dan Saltman realized that he had mass blasted thousands and thousands of emails directly to sponsors, directly to major advertisers on the platform, lying to them, you know what he said? Oh, well, I guess we'll delete the VOD where I recognize this. I guess we'll delete the VOD where, I admit to doing this. Yeah, that's not what happened at all. Wait, really? What do you mean that's not what happened at all? Not only did I cover it, but there's video evidence. Wait, who the fuck is calling me right now? Jesus Christ. Hold on.
Destiny said this extremely outrageous, outlandish, disgusting thing about Ethan, and yet Ethan doesn't have smoke for him, but he does for the other people that he's gone after through lawsuits. I'm pretty sure that's the point he was trying to make by putting that on screen. Like, look, Destiny has said something absolutely...
Wait, what do you mean you're pretty sure that's literally the clip that you clipped? That is the point he's making.
...despicable, yet you don't have that same energy for him as you do for the others. Unless I've blanked out and like erased moments from my memory from this segment, I don't recall him saying that this is like a serious thing he believes in and is presenting it as such. Like about Ethan is this, and this is a real allegation that really has a lot of water to it. Now, this doesn't change the fact that what iDubbbz did here is completely awful. To try and make this point using that kind of comment with something as monstrously evil as that is just so fucking low.
I disagree.
It is. But I don't believe it's how Ethan is necessarily...
I disagree. I 100% disagree. I don't think so. I think this is just moral posturing. What do you mean? iDubbbz is not in agreement with the comment whatsoever. I think it's perfectly valid to use such a severely defamatory statement like that one, which ironically enough, Destiny has made about me as well, because he's a fucking psycho. If you are a litigious person, you should apply that litigious nature to the actual offending party rather than whoever you actually want to punish, and punish financially. Not because you're going to be able to win that court case. It's not about victory in this circumstance. It's about just, costly litigation, burying people under a mountain of paperwork.
Explaining it to everyone, where iDubbbz is really, believing in this. iDubbbz came over to my house, he met my family, now he's going out there saying these things.
Like, if Charlie knew half the gross shit Ethan motherfucking Klein has said about Ian and Anissa, I don't think he'd be doing this. Ethan Klein directly has stalked and mass harassed iDubbbz and Anissa. Directly. For months on end. This litigation is an extension of that project. Ethan Klein has also called people that he doesn't like Nazis. Photoshop photos on his Instagram stories to imply that they're Nazis. He's done it to me too. He has called people that he does not like pedophiles, including Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch. Yeah, here it is.
He's extremely scummy because he did meet his kids and everything, and now he's putting a comment out there like that. That is very scummy, but he's not using it to try and make this claim that Ethan is those things. He's trying to use that to show that...
Dude, who's the scumbag here? Is it fucking iDubbbz? Or is it the guy who's been harassing iDubbbz and Anissa for fucking months? I'm sorry, dude. Come on, Charlie. I know everybody fucking hates Ian and myself and Morgan and Casey Tron on the internet, okay? But come on, dude. I mean, he's taken stronger stances in the past, defending trans people. He's taken stronger stances in the past, criticizing Israel. I guess in the commentary sphere, being even in any way, shape, or form remotely in defense of the truth, which happens to side with iDubbbz or happens to side with Denims, is worse than all of those things combined. But it's crazy. I don't know. Maybe this is a sincere opinion. I'm willing to be charitable, and I'm willing to be charitable and assume that it's coming from a place of him not like fully researching this stuff. But it seems like he's researched it extensively on one side. So he has tremendous amount of insight into, the grievances that Ethan Klein has experienced or claims to have experienced, even though it doesn't fucking tie back. So even after hearing Ethan's side, he still doesn't side with Ethan. So that in and of itself should show you how unbalanced this whole predicament is. Yeah, remember when he got caught at a fucking poker tournament, zooming in on a picture of Anissa and then screenshotting it and saving it?
Congratulations to the Ecklers.
We're ready for either
baby
one.
number one.
Oh, everything's neutral.
God, yeah.
Got both names ready. Yeah. Yep. So hopefully find out
Congratulations to the Ecklers.
We're ready for either
baby
one.
number one.
Oh, everything's neutral.
God, yeah.
Got both names ready. Yeah. Yep.
That's so fucking funny.
Destiny has said something so fucking terrible, yet you are not approaching him with the same energy you have everybody else. That is the point he was trying to make, I think, throughout that segment, at least from everything that I saw when watching it. Granted, it was very hard to sit through, but I'm pretty sure that's what he was trying to get at with that there. But I think that was a terrible way of going about it. Now, Ethan also addresses why he's not suing Destiny as well, and he's saying because Destiny cleared up that he wasn't being serious right away. I don't understand that. I'm not going to lie. That's not making sense to me. Can't wrap my noodle around it. It's not computing. I think it is a
That's a
very
lie, by the way. That's a lie. He never cleared it up. He never literally, he might have now, but at the time he certainly was very pissed off, and he's a very vindictive person, and he fucking lies about people all the goddamn time. So no, at the time, he kept doubling down, tripling down. Yeah, here's another fucking post about Ethan making a disgusting sexual comment about iDubbbz and Anissa. I mean,
being loser behavior.
He has a fucking litany of shit like this. That's why I'm saying, like, oh, iDubbbz is a scumbag, is a crazy thing to say. iDubbbz is a scumbag for showing someone else's defamatory claims in an effort to draw home a point that Ethan will never go after them because he's financially involved with that group and also ideologically involved with that group because he uses, or he thinks he uses, Destiny's community as a cyber stalking operation to harass his fucking internet enemies, is literally the point that iDubbbz is making. What he's doing there is nowhere near as bad as like half the shit that Ethan says on a daily fucking basis about Ian and about Anissa. Here is one of them.
What a dumbass. Can't believe I felt bad for you. By the way, Anissa reached out. She wants to meet at the Motel 6 tonight at 11.
Excuse me?
Because I'm going to fuck him for her? Because she's the cuck? No good?
Okay, Ian?
Him.
Right.
Anissa reached out to me.
You know, the first time that you made the Anissa the cuck joke, it hit really good.
Well,
and I feel like each subsequent one we're getting further and further.
What was wrong with...
I like that as soon as I started talking about fucking Ethan and you know, all this other shit going on, immediately the fucking weirdo Destiny fans come in here to be like, damn, Hamas. Calling me Hamas and then saying I got fat. Nice. What's good? Thanks, guys. That'll do it this time.
The one with that. I thought that
it just sounded weird. Kind of creepy.
Yeah. Here's Dean Saltman reading the Bloomberg article and finding out Saltman did in fact lie about those emails. Here it is.
The thing is, I sent this to the editor, and I said this was incorrect, and that I've never said this.
Okay. You're sure that your emails don't have the...
Yes.
You sure?
Yes. You can go to the site and click the button.
This is from the Bloomberg article talking about their sophisticated troll ops, their sophisticated operation to fucking slander, smear me, and also smear and defame the platform of Twitch with actual fake statements that they mass distributed to thousands of advertiser emails, okay, in an effort to try to get advertisers to pull out from the platform Twitch. They went and mass distributed lies that they openly acknowledge in this video. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because these guys also financially support Ethan. Dan Stockman owns the company Redact.dev. It's a major sponsor, one of the last remaining sponsors of Ethan Klein's podcast. There's a reason. If you were wondering why Ethan doesn't sue Destiny for making this defamatory statement, it's because he's fucking terrified of losing his last remaining ally, his last remaining ideological ally that he can use against his enemies. It's a mutually beneficial relationship that they have where they mass stalk and do all of the things that Ethan claims is being done to him, to others that he has declared enemies.
Been the same. Why would I ever say that they suspended Israeli users? I know that's not true. No one would ever say that.
Yeah, except you did. You knowingly lied about it.
So what they're saying right here, I feel like it's just slander, right? Well, no, libel. Libel is written. I've never said this, and they're saying that I have said this. You're furiously tapping over there.
I'm just checking the email. Double checking.
I did. I sent an email to the editor, and I said I demanded a retraction or a correction on it. If they don't, fuck it. I will sue them.
Oh, no, wait, hold on.
What's that? I'm checking Big Man.
Forget it. Delete this part of the bud.
Okay. Why?
Because it's your fucking dumb email does say that.
No way.
Even more troubling, Twitch previously suspended all Israeli accounts for a year without public acknowledgement or explanation.
Suspended creation. All right, well, never mind then. All right, we'll just trim that part out of the VOD.
Yeah. Thousands of advertisers received that email where these guys openly and knowingly fucking lied to them. Okay? About a multi-million dollar platform. Again, this was in an attempt to trigger the adpocalypse, something that YouTube content creators like Moist Critical are very intimately familiar with from the time when it took place on YouTube. They hate that sort of thing, or used to hate that sort of thing. They never covered it when the adpocalypse was forcibly triggered, or at least attempted to be forcibly triggered by the likes of Ethan Klein, Sex Pastini, and Dan Saltman. None of them wrote about it. As a matter of fact, when they did cover it, they made it, I feel like the people that did end up covering it actually blamed me for it because that was their purpose, right? That was their goal. Their goal was Hassan gets favorable coverage from Twitch. He never gets banned. Here, we'll prove it to you. We'll prove it to you by getting advertisers to pull out of Twitch unless they ban Hassan.
Statement. 100%. He's not wrong for feeling like this is a terrible thing that's being said about him. That is a line you don't cross, talking about people's children in a manner like this. It's gross. It is gross. So then why is this defamation lawsuit reserved exclusively for iDubbbz with a nice big bow on it, but not also extended to Destiny, the genesis of that comment? Does that not just prove the point that I believe iDubbbz was trying to make in the first place, which is Destiny, for some reason, can say these atrocious, abhorrent things about Ethan, and for some reason, Ethan doesn't have the same anger towards Destiny as he does someone like iDubbbz. Now, I guess with iDubbbz, you could then say, well, iDubbbz...
I hope I've sufficiently explained to you why he doesn't have that same level of anger towards Sex Pastini, towards Epstein.
Actually did meet his children and stuff, so it's an extra level of fucked up, which is fair. I do completely agree. It does add another fucked up rancid layer to this lasagna here, where he did actually know Ethan and his family and would use a comment like that to try and make his statement about like being soft on Destiny or whatever. But I still just don't understand why Ethan is willing to just be like, yeah, but Destiny, cleared up that he wasn't being serious. He was just goofing around. He was just being a dickhead. What? If the reason truly is that Canada's laws around defamation are significantly more lax and thus you have a case in Canada but not the US, then to me that tells me that it's not really a defamation case worth pursuing. And if you're not going after Destiny for these comments, but you will for iDubbbz trying to make a different point about it, again, I want to make it clear. I think the way iDubbbz went about doing this point is fucking atrocious. I don't know how much more clear I can make, but he wasn't trying to argue the legitimacy of the claim or anything like that. It was to show that you're very soft on Destiny, but not others, and used that outrageously gross comment as an example of it. But if you're going after iDubbbz solely because you know you can get a defamation case win because of Canada's laws not being as protective as the US's, that's why you don't go after Destiny, then that to me says that you were just trying to take advantage of those laws, the lax nature of those laws in Canada, to get revenge on someone that has wronged you.
I said from the beginning that if people want to go after my children, then, you know, the rules of engagement have changed forever. And that's what I said then. And when, you know, when Ian broadcast this, I sent him a cease and desist because, I mean, there's certain things that you don't say and you don't do and lines you don't cross. And they flaunted it. They didn't take it seriously. And
I totally understand that. If someone is going to cross that line, going after like your children or your family, I get being upset about that. Absolutely. But you're saying that the rules of engagement have changed for everyone but Destiny? Because he is the one that made the comment, and you're like totally just okay with being like, but he cleared up that he wasn't serious. He cleared up he was just being a dickhead. It's just not making sense. And if iDubbbz throughout that stream segment was going on and on about how like actually serious this is and how much he really believes in it, trying to convince his audience that it's true, trying to like lead some kind of like investigation against you, like another CPS visit, like another fraudulent visit from CPS, then I would totally understand pursuing like litigation against that to stop it. Now, but from what I saw in that stream, there was nothing of the sort, and he did outright say that he doesn't believe it and that he was only saying that it should be addressed as a way of pointing to you not wanting to engage with Destiny because you're afraid of Destiny. At least that's how it seemed from all of that garbage I sat through there. I'm pretty sure that's what he was getting at. Now, he does mention a cease and desist here, which they did send a cease and desist to iDubbbz, and it does seem like iDubbbz was fucking filled with jubilation upon receiving it. I've seen a couple of clips where he was like, really nonchalant about it, almost seemed kind of happy about it. Maybe he thought it'd be like a big boom of exposure or something. I really don't know who would celebrate something like that. But yeah, it seemed like he wasn't taking it seriously. And he did eventually come out and say like he really regrets doing this segment and like how bad it was, and that he did make like an apology for doing it, thinking he went too far. But it did take a while. And it's worth mentioning that his community, iDubbbz, like his stream chat and like the people watching iDubbbz, were not supportive of his actions with showing that comment and trying to make that point using something so heinous. It's not like his audience was eating it up and really celebrating what he did here. His own audience was turning against him for doing that, from what I saw. Now again, I've only learned about all this after the fact, so maybe some of like the positive stuff was scrubbed or deleted, but a lot of what I can find was people in his audience really didn't agree with him doing this.
I don't see how you can say that I'm not.
Here, this is what I tweeted. I said, if you're wondering why these serial defamers never got sued by Ethan Klein, even though Epstein, not iDubbbz, is the one who initially claimed Ethan molested his children and doubled down, it's because Dan Stogman, the one who realized he lied to thousands of advertisers triggering an apocalypse on Twitch, has been a financial sponsor of Ethan Klein's podcast, Redact Dev in parentheses. And they all support Israel and cyberstalk and harasses prominent critics online. Dan has openly fielded congresspeople to try and deplatform me for my pro-Palestinian advocacy. Of course, there was never a peep from the YouTube commentary community. They mostly supported it as terrorism support.
Justified. When somebody's who's your former friend who's been to your house and met your children is broadcasting this as a silly, it's just silly. Ethan needs to address this little minor claim that he molested his own children.
Viva Mexico, Viva Mexico. Bust out the Mexico jersey. Ah, shit. First game, did Mexico win? Nice. La Raza on top. Bro loves to spill tea. Dog, someone has to be a fucking adult and actually accurately reflect on the events that have taken place in this sphere of influence that we are unfortunately a part of, because the reality of the matter is a lot of the loudest voices are unbelievably reactionary, and therefore the most dominant attitude in this sphere is always going to reflect that perspective. I'm basically like one of the only large content creators who actually is offering additional context to why these things are unfolding, because all of the top content creators on YouTube don't want to touch to the 10-foot pole, partially because Israel, like the issue of Israel-Palestine is a part of it, and they don't want to say anything about it because they're terrified of being called anti-Semitic, because all of their sponsorships will be revoked, right? There is still that element. And then on top of that, they're genuinely worried, I think, about litigation, because Ethan has shown that he is unbelievably litigious. Or even if there is no litigation, they're worried about getting fucking cyberstalked and harassed by some of these vicious communities. These communities are unbelievably vicious. Ethan constantly cries about snark. Meanwhile, he is the #1 snarker. I mean, Reddit. He went to Reddit and literally tried to get these communities taken down, these anonymous subreddits taken down, right? And Reddit straight up told him to his face, like, dog, your fucking community is snark. Your community. We'll take down those communities, but your community is also snark. Should we take down your community as well? Because that's precisely what it is. He uses his community as a mass harassment cyber stalking operation. Dude, when I was in fucking New Jersey, in Princeton, New Jersey, to promote and support Adam Hamawi, who is going to be the next congressperson from New Jersey 12. He won. When we did that rally that morning, at the hotel I was staying at, there was a wonderful and kind person that came up to me and was like, oh my God, I'm such a huge fan. I was like, wow, great. She was working the coffee shop. She told me that she used to watch all the time. She watched Leftovers, was a big fan. I didn't think much of it. And then later I found out she was posting in the subreddit being like, Hassan has showed up at my place of work. I'm freaking out right now. So even in the real world, when these people are kind to your face, like on the internet, when they go to Ethan's community, they're like, oh, what can I do? What kind of trickery could I engage in? It's like so shocking. It's kind of alarming to see that switch up, really. And she was such a wonderful person too. It actually shook me a little bit, that code switch.
File. Is that funny? I don't know. Is that a joke? Is that free speech? I don't think so. Then the other thing I hear is like, this is a grave threat against free speech. No, it's not. Defamation laws exist in every major Western country, because you can't just say people molested their children. That's not free speech. That's not protected speech.
And good.
It's not. It's not. It's defamation. It's defamation.
Thing iDubbbz didn't. That would be the comment that was left by someone else. So if that is the big problem, that this was said in the first place,
yeah. The problem is it's not iDubbbz that made the defamatory statement.
Then wouldn't that energy be channeled at the person who actually said it? He's trying to portray it as though Ian is championing it, that he is trying to use this knowingly fraudulent information to push an agenda that Ethan is a monster, that does the unthinkable to his children. But when watching it, again, that's just not what he was saying. And he did outright say he doesn't believe it in the first place. He then goes into like, how is that a joke? Well, you just said that the person who left the comment, Destiny, was just joking, basically. He was just being a piece of shit. But he wasn't being serious. That was a goof. That doesn't make sense, man. So it was a joke when he wrote the comment, but it's not a joke when iDubbbz is trying to use it to shittily make a point. And it wasn't even making a joke about the comment itself, just more so that you weren't getting upset at Destiny for making it in the first place.
You can't accuse someone of committing a heinous crime. That's not, if they didn't, that's not free speech. That's not protected speech. It's literally not protected speech. It's actually explicitly carved out in the law as, this is the legal route you take when someone defames you, right?
Ethan, of all people, should be very familiar with how defamatory lawsuits can be exploited by those with a lot of money. He was the guy that always fought on the right side of these kind of battles. And now in this case, I really think he's lost his way in that regard. What he is describing here is not even what iDubbbz did. He's talking about, you can't make these comments, that's not free speech. Destiny made the comment, man. Literally. And yet you're not going after him. You've already excused him, wrote it off as he wasn't being serious, a dickhead, and are instead going after iDubbbz, who was very shittily using it to make a very different point and even outright said he doesn't believe it, by the way. So it really feels less about the actual defaming and more about just being able to continue to, really drive the nail into iDubbbz, which is extremely unnecessary. His own community didn't agree with him when he did this. He lost members of his community for this because he was so in the wrong for it. Everyone was on your side when all of this was unfolding. So really, what else are you even trying to accomplish? He came out of that much worse, and he outright apologized for it, admitted how wrong he was for it, and everything like that eventually, which is a significantly bigger L than a legal one in the eyes of the internet, to be that wrong and that much on the wrong side of the drama. By every possible interpretation, you won here. You proved the claims were fraudulent, they were false, they're not real. And people were on your side in this whole situation here and against how iDubbbz had gone about trying to make this point. All you had to do was just leave it at that. But by making this lawsuit, you've now made a new issue out of it that is a concern and can affect other people entirely unrelated to it. And I'm honestly very surprised why Ethan can't see that. After all of the lawsuits he's been through, something like this should be very apparent how it can be used exploitatively against others, even outside of a case of this extreme degree. Ethan of 10 years ago, I think, would absolutely see that, but right now, I just think after everything that he's been through, he's just completely clouded by it and can't see that anymore. But now let's dive into the concern about how this can affect free speech or discourse online, because Ethan is talking about how he doesn't understand how it could, because this is such an extreme thing that was said that's so gross. And he's right. This is a very gross thing that was said. And if iDubbbz was pressing it as a very legitimate thing and trying to make it seem like it's true to everyone, that kind of thing, then it would make a lot more sense to go this kind of route. Because that is something the snark community was doing with some really unhinged behavior. So that would make sense to me. But that's not what happened here, and the reason why this is concerning is because, let's say Ethan does win this lawsuit here, that then opens the door for other people to come in with less extreme shit. Yes, in this case, it is very over the top and gross. But defamatory statements aren't just this extreme level. Defamatory statements are very wide-reaching, and this being something you can point to okay, so it worked for Ethan, it can probably work for me against this guy who said this thing that actually damaged my brand. In Ethan's case, I think it'd be very hard to even prove damages in the first place. I don't know if that's something that's required by Canadian law. I have no fucking clue at all. I know they don't have the same level of free speech protections or anything like that, so maybe that's not even a requirement or whatever. But I think it would be a Herculean task to prove that H3 had suffered a reputational hit or a loss of revenue or a brand tanking because of iDubbbz stream here. Because what has often been flexed by a lot of people is how H3 has thousands upon thousands of live viewers all the time, and iDubbbz would have 100. So H3 being 100x the size of iDubbbz, it would be very hard for anyone to point to and say, what iDubbbz did here really damaged the H3 brand, and here's the proof. We lost so many members on YouTube.
I can't believe this is what I spent the last hour going through as we are about to head over to the DSA New York City Slate rally, where I will be speaking and delivering a fucking speech to this nation's young revolutionaries that are going to personally change the American trajectory in a positive manner. Why are you crying? What can I do but cry?
YouTube or something that's clearly not going to happen. But someone else absolutely could. Something that a lot of people talk about online, commentary YouTubers, I suppose will stay in that realm, is scammers. So why couldn't a scammer then utilize this same play? Okay, we can actually prove damages because they talked about, you know, a customer's terrible experience with us, and that was defamatory, and look at how much business it cost us, and it ruined our reputation. And I think you could possibly point to Ethan's lawsuit here, should he win, as evidence like, look, he got a defamation.
Noah's here, everybody. We should look at this fucking fit, dude. Look at you.
Look at you.
No, oh my God, Noah's wearing a suit too. Well, we're suit guys now. Okay, I'm watching Moist Critical cover offer critical coverage on. Dude, where the fuck is March, bro? March. Oh my God. No, we've been up all fucking morning. We had to shoot a podcast. I shot Fear and then I shot Majority Report. Then I did an interview with these guys that are doing a documentary. Hold on, I'm gonna fix everything. One second. I'm gonna put a mic on you. I don't know where the mics are, and I will sign it. Don't you worry. Okay.
Defamatory ruling in his favor after suing iDubbbz for something someone else said. So we are going to be suing this YouTuber for what this customer said that they talked about in their content that ruined our brand or took away some business. Because in a lot of commentary videos, the sources come from others, whether it's individuals or something else. So if you can sue for a reason like this and win, it does open up to exploitation from some bad actors. So yeah, while it is kind of extreme in what has happened here between iDubbbz and H3, I think you could very easily look at it and say, okay, if he can sue for what someone else said and was on his stream, why can't I sue for what someone else said that was in their content that I believe defamed me? And I just think that it does open the door to some problems. And I've seen the response is kind of split. In the commentary community, I thought it'd be unanimously, discouraged for pretty obvious reasons. It has historically always been spit upon, but because it's now against someone people don't like, iDubbbz, they're okay with it and even laughing about it, which I just don't really get. I don't know how the lesson hasn't been learned that when something gets used against someone you don't like, it doesn't mean it's only ever going to be used against people you don't like. Once that can of worms is open, shit becomes the Wild West, and it can be a problem for everybody. Like making an exception like, yeah, ooh, not good. I've always been really against YouTubers filing, litigation against other content creators, but since it's iDubbbz, I'll be okay with it. Which I think is some pretty silly shit. I think the internet in its first...
We upgraded we leveled up the audio. We leveled up the production here.
Well, I know these I'm familiar with.
Yeah, so we when I have guests on now, I do that where let's do it like this. Okay, you can go even further to the right. I'm trying to center it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, Noah Colvin's here, ladies and gentlemen, and are the audio levels fine? Maybe they're a little too low. Let me increase it. Can you hear us better? Nope, the other way around. Hello. Hello, is that better?
Maybe it is.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, it is better. I turned it up. I turned on the volume. Young Chomsky has taught y'all well. Haha, he's the ultimate sartorial socialist. Did you learn this from Young Chomsky? Did Young Chomsky invent suiting?
No,
He does have great style, to be fair.
He does.
He does. When he was in Cuba, he was dripped out the fucking wazoo, which is kind of crazy because they only yelled at me for wearing nice things in Cuba. They never yelled at him for wearing nice things in Cuba. Move up your mic on lapel. It should be fine. Why Noah got the broccoli cut? Oh no, they're cooking you. They're cooking you, King.
That's just what having curly hair is. I don't know what to.
I also need to figure out if I.
It's not like there's product in it. I'm just Jewish.
Damn.
I don't know what.
Call them out. They're being anti-Semitic. This is an anti-Semitic community.
What am I supposed to do?
This is an anti-Semitic community, and you should call them out. I think your mic isn't close enough. How is it not close enough? You want to tweak it? Oh, his is upside down. I think it should be fine if he turned it up.
Yeah,
but even then, it should pick up.
Putting it on your tie.
Yeah, I'm putting it on my tie.
Like a diamond stud.
Yeah. Don't listen to them. Noah, love the hair. Gain up, buttercup. I think it's fine, bro. Isn't it fine? It sounds fine. Your mic is his ass is on point. What? Jesus Christ. I also still have to send info to Emma.
Oh, wait about where we're going.
Yeah, I forgot to do that all day. I hope she can still make it. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We're waiting on March. We're not going anywhere before fucking March gets here and sets up the goddamn camera. So is March sleeping? Where is he? He's not responding. We got 5 minutes before we leave, right? We're gonna be late.
Call him.
I'm gonna call him right now. All right, let's see.
Go around with this topic, pin the tail on the donkey. I think they were correct with the take on this topic, that being extremely litigious and going after other content creators and such with defamatory lawsuits and such is just not very good. It's the same tactics that have been used from some extremely shady companies in the past against people online, and it's just a tactic that used to unanimously leave a sour taste in the mouth of.
Do you know what this is about? Your favorite podcaster is old ways again, coming fresh off the heels of possible defeat on a DMCA case that he was advancing against Denims.
Yeah,
for
where he
reacting to the
was
fucking
hoisted
context.
by his own petard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right after that, he's also suing Noah Sampson for defamation, for calling him a Zionist.
He's doing a lot of the lawsuits.
And now he's suing iDubbbz because iDubbbz posted Destiny's statement saying Ethan molested his own children. And instead of suing Destiny for the defamatory statement, he decided to sue iDubbbz, even though iDubbbz shows that and goes, I'm showing this, I disagree with it, I don't think this is correct, and I think this is a severe accusation that is most likely defamatory, and Ethan should sue.
I mean,
and instead he's using the Canadian courts.
Well, yeah, he's like he's using his rental lawyer
to
harass whomever he wants.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, he found somebody who will take his money, which is impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Your tie is crinkled. You need to steam it or put on a different one. It's fine. It's a crinkled tie. Who cares, man? It shows my working class background. Okay.
I decided not to wear a tie because I thought it would be too much.
Why? I got plenty of ties if you want to fucking rip one. I got a green one if you want.
No, it's fine. I ironed a tie, but I decided against it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Chuck Schumer endorsed Haley Stevens.
Oh wow, so it's in the open. Well, I mean,
it was pretty much.
Yeah, like
right?
sorry, like I am. Well, look, she needs all the help she can get, and Chuck Schumer, he's a potent weapon.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that they brought out the big guns.
Yeah, like
America's most popular, most prominent politician, Chuck Schumer.
I do think it is kind of funny because, like, if McMorrow had been smarter, like she probably should have gone for like Obama or something.
Dude, where the fuck have you been, bro? You freaked us the fuck out. I thought you were.
Said I was good.
Oh, all right.
What's up, man?
All right.
Good to see you.
Bags over there, and then once he. Okay.
Cool.
So we got time.
Yeah, we're good.
You know what? Fuck it, dude. I'm being bullied by my chat. I'm gonna change my tie. I'm gonna do it.
Or
you got it.
I mean,
I can't iron it. I don't know how to iron it. I don't have an iron in here.
Well, off stream, I'll show you that it's
the ways.
It's not like it's hard.
Did you see the Knicks keffiyeh?
Wait, what?
Dude, here, look at all the Knicks shit I got.
Yeah, I saw the I know. Somebody knocked I saw the Ewing jersey.
Oh yeah, finally I got a Knicks hat that I don't have to steal from you.
Yeah, that one's great. I love that one. No, it's good.
Put on a new tie, goddamn.
I'm impressed. I think it'd be really funny if you come back with a tie that's even more wrinkled than the other one. Wow.
This has one crinkle on it. It's not that. What?
Nothing.
What are you gonna say?
Nothing. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Is it also wrinkled?
I mean, yeah, but it's just sort of like you're kind of pot committed, I'd say.
I don't think it's that bad.
No, it's also, is that silk?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's less noticeable. So.
Are all the batteries charged?
Bro, just ironed it. It takes 5 minutes. We don't have 5 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta go. We don't have 5 minutes.
Come on.
All right. Yeah. Here, I'll flip it. I'll flip the camera over to the other one. Oh shit! Now we have to use the fucking regular mic. This has a much smaller. Here. Yeah, you can take it. We'll keep these on and we'll use them in a second when we're in the car. But oh shit! Wait, what the fuck? Uh-oh.
What?
Laptop camera's not working for some reason. Oh, boom, it's working. Okay. All right, there we go. All right. Well, this is what are you going outside? Outdoor streams are mid. Official Hasanabi chair says outdoor streams are mid. Yes, we are going outside to a rally, an outside-inside situation, where we are technically going outside, but we will also be inside at the same time.
I'm operating under the assumption there's no air.
Wait, really?
What?
At the place we're going to, you don't think there's air conditioning?
I don't know.
Oh, we're fucked.
I mean, I wore linen. I don't know. About
I
you.
took the noise gate off as well, so you can now yell as much to your heart's desire.
I can yell.
You can be heard now.
Fun.
Okay. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Hopefully there's air conditioning. If there's no air conditioning, it's 90 degrees in fucking New York right now. It is so goddamn hot, and I'm wearing heavy suiting. Beast mode. Yeah, I'm a suit guy now. It is what it is. Heat waves in places new. Can't hear shit. What do you mean? You can't? All right. Well, we're gonna be moving soon. So there's gonna be an I've had it list in the video. You can play that if you are going soon. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
Just normal people online. But now in this case, because it's against someone they don't like, they're willing to be
keep it
all
going.
right with it and turn the other cheek
We'll
to
keep it rolling. Are we ready?
And
to go?
I don't think that's
All right, do you
right.
need this?
Again,
Is that
if
right?
iDubbbz truly was spreading maliciously fraudulent information of this disgusting stuff that was made in this comment and saying like, this is real, this is true, this is awful, this is, look at what's happening, look what he's done, that kind of thing, I would really understand it more then, because then that is very different than just normal internet beef. That is psychopath evil shit. But from what I've seen in that stream, that's not what was happening. So I really don't understand this perspective from commentary channels to treat this like it's just some kind of hoot and holler and goofy thing, you know, let's celebrate it, point and laugh, when I think it's pretty easy to see how this could potentially be used as ammunition in some less than savory lawsuits going forward, specifically in Canada. It would obviously be like for Canadian YouTubers, but even still, it's probably best not to just have more ammunition for some bad actors to be able to exploit legally.